Greetings Tarnished, FiOth here, and in this guide I am going to be breaking down the function of each of the great runes. I've had a lot of requests for that, so I'm gonna take care of it in this vid and everyone can finally understand what each of them do. Some are pretty straightforward, others are a bit more obscure. So, first and foremost, stuff that doesn't need a demonstration. I will start with the Great Rune of the Unborn. This you get from Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon. This is not equipped or used by the player to any extent. This is only used by Rennala herself when you visit her to respec your character. You don't need to reactivate it, you don't need to do anything about it. You just respec your character using this passively during the dialogue. For the locations of each rune's reactivation site, I will have an annotation at the end of this vid, so you can go there, find it, find the location of the reactivation site you need, those are the Divine Towers, and get your runes sorted. Other than that, we'll start from the top left. Godrick's Great Rune. This is pretty self-explanatory. When you use a rune arc, this will increase all your attributes. By how much? To be absolutely clear, here are my stats on the right: 40, 15, 20, 16, 48, 10, 35, 28. I'm gonna take this out because it gives me 3 arcane and I don't want to confuse you. So when I use the arc, you see that the Great Rune lights up, and now my stats are all at +5 from where they were before. This might not look like much, but it's actually 40 levels if you multiply by the amount of stats that we have. And it is quite substantial, guys. So if you just want to empower your character on every aspect, use this one. It is very, very worthwhile. Now, to be able to demonstrate, of course, I will have to swap them. Now we will be looking at a Rykard's Great Rune. This stage restores HP upon defeating enemies. If you look at its description, it says a Great Rune of the Shelter Rykard. Its blessing restores HP upon defeating enemies. So, we're gonna activate it. It is active, and you see on my status bar on the top left, we have this little plump red thingy on the right. And we are going to take some damage now. Hello, sir. Okay, I'm damaged. He needs to hit me a bit more because that barely did anything. Okay, here we are. Now I kill him and I restored some HP. So this is not very hard to understand, it's pretty self-explanatory. You kill guys, you get HP back. Now let's look at Radahn the Star Scourge. It states raises maximum HP, FP and stamina. In here it also states that it's a Great Rune of the Swordbearer Radahn the Star Scourge. Its blessing raises much HP, FP and stamina. This goes flat on top of your bars, it does not increase the associated stats. So we're gonna activate it. And it gives you a pretty substantial boost. If you ask me, Godrick's is better, but that's up to personal preference. We will continue with Morgott's Great Rune. It greatly raises maximum HP. This is the most simple to understand. We use the Arch and we get a pretty beefy boost. It is around 300 HP, very substantial, very useful if you are struggling to stay alive against the toughest bosses. Now, let's check Malenia's Great Rune. It states attack recover HP after damage is taken. The blessing of this half-rotted rune reduces the healing power of Flask of Crimson Tears, and yet, due to the infusion of Malenia's Spirit of Resistance, attacks made immediately after receiving damage will partially recover HP. Does this remind you of anything? Yep, this is the rally mechanic from Bloodborne. So we activate the rune. Our flasks are weaker now. This guy has a shield. We are damaged. You see that the color is different on the bar. I kill the enemy and I recover a minuscule amount of HP. From what I have tested, this is analogous to how much damage you take. So if you take a large chunk and retaliate with damage of your own, you will recover statistically more than if you just got prodded with a dagger, got a bit of damage on you, and the recovery of course will be less substantial. If you ask me, not very impressive. I understand that they wanted to replicate the rally mechanic from Bloodborne, but we're also looking at reduced healing from our flasks, and I don't see this as being overly effective on its own. Tied to a vampiric build, with some talismans maybe, or other tools, it could be very useful. I'm gonna work on some such builds in the near future, but on its own is not as effective as we'd like it to be. So let's get into the tricky one, Mohg's Great Rune. First and foremost, you need to use a Great Rune arc in order to empower it when you are in your world. It has two functions. One is to buff your summons in your world, be it summoning Ash or players, and the other one is to empower the enemies of a world when you invade. Upon invade, you'll get this item, the Phantom Great Rune. It states, enemies inside the invaded world receive a blessing of blood, which boosts their attack power when blood loss occurs nearby. Also, your HP recovers when blessed enemies defeat a player. So, for a certain vicinity, which of course I am not exactly sure about because there is no way to measure it, enemies get buffed by this item. You get a loss of your total HP, like FiOth debuff, probably like 5%. And when enemies get damaged in the vicinity and blood is spilled, as the game states, you will notice a red aura on the world's enemies. Those are, of course, the hosts and summons enemies, not your enemies, now they're your cooperators. As soon as damage is inflicted and blood is spilled, you will notice this red aura. This red aura means that the enemy is now buffed. They will deal increased damage, and upon killing enemies, well, that is the host or their summons, you will be healed. Of course, if the host is killed, the session pretty much ends and it doesn't matter if you get healed or not. You can see this centipede here has this red aura. They just killed the host, so I'm pretty much victorious here, and they're now attacking the summon. That, of course, is gonna be sent back to their world. Mission accomplished. Remember, Mohg's rune works slightly different as stated before when it comes to you being the summoner. You will get buffed ashes and allies in your world, but it does not grant you a Phantom Great Rune, of course, because there is no reason for you to want to buff the enemies in your world. It is working in two modes. One is for making your life easier in your world when it comes to summoning, and the other is for making the lives of those invaded by you more miserable. So this is it, guys. I've covered pretty much every single one of these runes. I've been asked a lot of times to do this vid. I hope you watch it and enjoy it. I've been covering pretty much everything in Elden Ring, so sub, like, and share, and come by our streams and say hi next time we're live. Hit the notification bell to be notified. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!